abortion murder? Abortion. In India, nobody even thinks about a topic like abortion. It's like a given. Abortion is another kind of birth control or contraception. There are no major philosophical arguments going on or political battles being fought. But in America, or less in the West, it's probably the single most important rallying point for both the right and the left. And unfortunately, that's what's happened. It's become right versus left camp thing. It's become pro-life versus pro-choice. Though frankly speaking, both people want life and both people want choice. Though when I was writing my book on abortion, the more I started thinking about it, reading about it from all camps, my perception started changing a bit. But the real change happened when I became a father. If my wife, with the consent of a doctor, wanted to kill my baby while she was the little one in her womb, people who are pro-choice would have been okay. There's nothing I can't, even when I speak now, there's fury coming, man. And also deep sadness. So there's probably nothing, there's no person probably more innocent, more helpless, more needed of what we have to provide in life than the unborn child. Because it can't even cry, and yet it feels pain. In abortion, most abortion, unless you're using an abortion pill, the abortion often they dismember the baby, which means they literally tear the babies by hand, literally the limbs, they tear it out and then remove it. And babies do feel pain. The murder of the baby is done by its own mother. If the baby was born and if a mother wanted to dismember the baby, to tear it apart by limb, you would think it's the most horrifying thing ever imaginable. In fact, the reason why abortion was made legal by the US Supreme Court in Roe v. Wade was because the so-called conservative Chief Justice and his team and his associate judges decided that the baby is not a person. The person is a philosophical term. It's a Christian term actually. A person in Christian terms simply meant anything with a soul. The US Supreme Court in 1973, if I'm not mistaken, decided that the baby in the womb is not a person. And therefore, because it's not a person, it can be, its life can be ended. And if the baby cannot survive without its mother, it means the mother has the right to kill it or abort it. And by some estimates, none of us mature until we are 25 or 27, depending whether you're female or male, respectively. If that is the truth, then any parent should be, at least any mother or parent should be able to abort or even kill his own child, because they should have full rights, because that child is not his own person, is not mature to become an individual adult, and it's not become an individual living human person, and therefore the parent should have the right to murder the child. The way I see it, I like the 40-day window. Around the 40th day, which means around 6 weeks' time, the baby begins to develop a heartbeat. It begins to have a brainwave. Forget the features. Now, usually we presume that somebody is dead when the heart stops beating. The way I see it, and many other people see it, that means the way you presume that somebody is alive is when the heart starts beating. So which means then it becomes a living person. That means at 6 weeks, the baby becomes a living person. Because if abortion is murder, if it is murder, there can be nothing worse than an own mother who under normal circumstances would be willing to give her life for the child, is in this case the main perpetrator of the murder itself. But I'll tell you one thing, maybe 50 or 100 years from now, when we look back at social history, we will think that abortion is probably one of the worst, probably not one, probably the single worst evil visited on man by man. Because it's a mother killing his one child. And it's not about one mother, but because it is considered a societal norm, a societal affirmation, it was considered a societal good. We often take everything that our politicians and bureaucrats and textbooks and thinkers tell us for granted. But sometimes when you feel it, like when my daughter was born, and they make it as if it's a question of women's rights. It's got nothing to do with women's rights, it's got nothing to do with religion, nothing. It's all about the human right of that child. And in this case, my daughter is also a girl. So she also a woman. What about her woman's rights? As for them, the single biggest reason most people abort a child is because it's inconvenient. I'm not ready for it. I don't have support. I can't afford it. Imagine if a mother, if that is true, that's also can be true when you already have a baby who's 1 year old or 2 year old also. It's inconvenient. My career is getting held up. I don't have enough money to support it. My husband or a boyfriend or whatever is not very supportive or doesn't earn well. So is that a good enough reason? Simple, guys. Abortion is murder. Change the word. The problem here is the semantics. Change the word, and then the entire argument is shut down. And guys, like, share, subscribe. Because press the bell icon. It helped me a lot. It helps show my feed to a lot of people like you who like my kind of stuff. So God then help us, guys. Thank you.